Okay, it looks like we're live. The title today of the live stream is the following: Removing China from the dollar system would be end of greenback as major reserve currency. And the reason that I brought this question up or this comment up is because of what's going on trade-wise. President Trump has threatened a 100% tariff by November 1st if China doesn't remove they've put some export controls on rare earth metals that are really key to the technology sector. But the reason they've done that, the Chinese, is because the US has also put like restrictions on Chinese AI companies buying like the raw materials or the chips, AI chips from the American companies. So it wasn't like the Chinese did this out of the blue, even though President Trump is saying they did. And the title of the live stream is to do with a comment I saw from Kyle Bass, who's a hedge fund manager from Texas, who's very anti-Chinese. And I'm not taking sides here. I'm not American. I live in the UK. I'm originally from Brazil, and I have a Italian passport. I try to look at things objectively, and I think Mr. Bass is wrong to suggest that President Trump should remove China from the SWIFT system, dollar system. We saw what happened to Russia. Nothing happened to them when they did that and put sanctions on them. If anything, it's triggered Russia and all of the BRICS to find an alternative. So that's why I think trying to, and I don't think the Trump administration would do something that silly as Kyle Bass is suggesting, but you never know. But yeah, that would be the end of the dollar. Why? Well, because they would cut off their biggest, the biggest contributor to the current dollar system, which is China. So anyway, I'm gonna be on my own today. So I'm here to answer a lot of questions today as well from you guys. And I usually start a little uh, earlier than scheduled, of course, to say hello to everyone. So I'll do that now. I see that Tim Gibson is here. He says he likes she. I have no opinion. I don't really know much about him anyway, but Carbone 239, Mario, does Rudy think silver will continue to climb through the years? And yeah, I asked him last week, uh, and I can't ask him now because he'll go crazy. It triggers him, but he thinks silver is going to 100 by the end of the year. So there you go. Back in June, he thought silver was going to 50 when it was 36. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he thinks he's going for a walk when I ask him that, to be honest, but it's a bit of fun. Silver Task, thank you for being a moderator. Fallout 2511, I don't get why gold owners should invest in miners who would just get more gold into the world. Why support the enemy? I think, I mean, when I started buying gold and silver back in '02, yeah, I only got involved in the miners a few years later. It's just something that you do. I mean, it's like owning a bank, I would say, because the miners produce gold. And I don't think it's a problem producing gold or silver. I don't think because gold and silver are money. And historically, the growth of the gold supply is kept up with population, so I don't have a problem with it. I think the reason why people do it is because they start looking into the precious metals market and they realize that the miners, it's a way of buying gold cheap. It's you don't have to go to a dealer. Indirectly, of course, you don't have to go to a dealer and pay spot plus 2 or 3% premium. You buy a mine or a mining company, and they're able to get gold out of the ground at $1,500 or $1,700 dollars. So they're making big profits. I think that's why people do it. But I think he just having physical gold and silver is good enough, in my opinion. Even though I have some miners and they've done really well, and I'm going to keep an eye on them. And I think last bull market in the mid 2000s to '08 or 2008, 2011, I had put a lot of my pension into the miners. I put it into a self-invested private pension, my pension, my private pension money, and it grew a lot. And I thought I made a mistake. I've always thought that I should have gotten out, and I didn't, and then it all collapsed. But from reading from or listening to people now, it looks like it wasn't, maybe it was partly my fault, but it was also the bad management, the people who were running these mining companies in the last bull market. They abused the cash flow. And then when gold and silver stopped going up, they collapsed. So that's what happened. There's still fear that they might do this again, but hopefully they have learned their lesson. So that's what I'll say about that. Hizia says, Mary, do you expect a big slam down on the metals relatively soon? They've been doing slam downs of late in the last few weeks, but it only seems to last one day at the most. In the past, it used to last a week or a month even. And we recently had that Golden Week in China. Basically, I think from the 1st of October to the 9th, it was closed. And in the past, it's been a good period for the bullion banks in New York and London to really smack down the gold and silver market. I remember many times during beginning of October seeing gold and silver go down, but this time, if anything, it went up. So I think it's getting more and more difficult. That's my answer for you. Yodi says I lost my job on Friday, and there's not much work available right now. I'm sorry to hear that, Yodi, and I hope you get back on your feet, or hopefully you've got savings to keep you going until you find something else. And that's something that I'm hearing from people I speak to that because the last non-farm payroll number October 3rd was not published because the non-essential part of the US federal government has been shut down. So the BLS is shut down. So we have to wait until the government reopens to find out. But a lot of private financial institutions have been looking into privately into the jobs market. And I have a feeling that these job numbers are going to be really negative going forward. So I think the Fed is going to be forced to probably cut more aggressively on the 29th of October, and then they have a December 10th meeting as well. So I think that will help precious metals as well. And I think that will keep the dollar from rebounding too much. I don't think the Trump administration and Stephen Mirren, who's an economic advisor, he's also joined the Fed as a governor. I don't think they want to see a very strong dollar. High Silver, what do you think will happen to UK 10-year bond? I mean, in the last year or two, it's been holding steady at very high yield levels. But right now, it seems to have, yeah, support in terms of price. But I think in the next year or two, it's going to go higher, the yields, and the bonds, the 10-year yield is going to go down. Un You hear that the chancellor says she wants to be tough on inflation and spending. She's going to raise taxes on the private sector. She's going to keep pumping money into the bureaucracy or the public sector. And she thinks she can get the economy growing like that. And I think it's going to have the opposite effect. The economy is going to continue to slow down. Jobs are going to continue to be lost, and eventually they'll cave in and they will start spending and printing and running deficits. So I'm not positive at all on the UK government bond market, especially the longer end. Junk Roosevelt dimes best in the USA. I have some junk Roosevelt dimes. I have some other the Mercury dimes as well. Not that many. I mean, I still here in the UK. I think it's great to get 1 ounce silver Britannias and also junk sterling coins. Junk sterling is like pre 1920. They're 0.925. That's why they're sterling. Uh, and then from 1920 to 46, they're like 50% because we debased the currency after World War One. Both those kinds of coins are good if you can find them. And actually, I wanted to talk about that because I went into town this past week to look at junk coins, and I found some, and I also happened to find some bullion coins, which is unusual because I went more to a numismatic coin dealer, but he had some bullion. We'll look into that. Tony L says Brazil just started buying gold now. Why did they wait until it's all at all-time highs? Could have bought it in the last 50 plus years. Well, they actually bought quite a lot of gold back in 2021. Uh, yeah, back in 2021, they added like they increased their gold holdings by 60% back in 2021. I don't know why they waited till now either. Maybe because the head of the central bank is not too in good terms, maybe with Lula. I don't know. Uh, LD says he misses Rudy or she misses, or come here, Rudy. He's right here. There we go. He's on the floor. That's why he's here. He's a good boy, aren't you, Rudy? There you go. Is silver gonna go up, Rudy? No? Oh, he's a bit asleep. There you go. Teague Materi, thank you for your super chat. No question, this son. Just appreciate your time and effort. Oh, thank you, Teague. What else have we got? Uh, yeah, if you want to ask me a question, maybe like put my handle up so I can see at Monaco 64. It makes it easier because there's a lot of comments going through. Mr. B, thank you for being a moderator. Pablo Pina's here. Elka's, that chestnut color, muy bien, senor. You mean my jumper? Yeah, it's called lava red, I think. I'm not sure. Is that what you're asking? Talking? Yeah. Britannias are nice, agreed. Over here in New York City, I saw the line for retail seasonal hiring in the local malls, and hundreds of people need work. Yeah, David King says I found some Morgans. I also saw a comment from someone in Australia saying I think it's in Sydney. There are lines outside the bullion dealers. We haven't started seeing that here yet. NMC, thoughts on oil? Not really. I don't really follow crude that much. It's hovering around 60. I think WTI broke 60. It could go lower, I guess, if we see a slowdown in the economy. Yeah, but I've always thought that, when people say, "Oh, oil prices are inflationary," and I used to think like that because back in the 70s, that's what they told us. Inflation is going up because the oil price is going up, but that wasn't true. Oil prices are going up because of inflation, because Nixon closed the gold window and all the central banks of the world and governments started printing and borrowing. So, have you noticed that now oil is under control, has gone down, but everything is going up, all the basic necessities. So, I'm not sure oil is that important for the metals. I guess the miners, it does impact the miners because it means their cost of operation stay pretty steady. And if gold and silver keep going up, as I think they will, that will make mining companies even more profitable. Profitable, more the bigger mining companies that are already producing the junior exploration companies. That's a different kettle of fish. It's more speculative because they're only like drilling and drilling to try to get good numbers on the board so that they can be bought out or maybe even start their projects. YouTube Dredge, do you buy silver to trade or stack? No, I don't trade. I mean, yeah, I don't trade paper silver. I just buy physical coins and bars. Yeah, but I mean, I don't stop anyone from trading. But I think if you really want to, yeah, I think it's the only way to own gold and silver is through stacking. Trading is a completely different game. You're not really trading silver, you're betting on the price. Hooter Shooter, what coin shop would you recommend in London, Mary? Oh, good question, Hooter, because I'm going to bring it up now because I went this week to London and this is more for numismatic and to get junk silver. Sometimes it can get bullion. For bullion, though, I recommend, and I'm affiliated with Gold Investments. They do bullion, Britannia's, Silver Eagles, 1 ounce Krugerrands, and gold. That's a different story. And I'm affiliated with them. And if you're looking for that, there's a link below in the description. But one of my favorite coin shops in London is this one here. It's called Coin Heritage. It's in Cecil Court. And the reason I put this picture here is because Cecil Court is a really great place near Charing Cross Station, near Trafalgar Square. And they have antique bookstores, antique silver stores, and there's a coin shop here. But it's not this one, it's one in the basement. So you got to go in but go down the stairs, and it's called Coin Heritage. Let me try to bring up the website. Coin Heritage. Here we go. Uh, yeah, that's not it. This one here. There we go. That's it. And I recommend you go there really instead of dealing online or on the phone. And that's Philip Cohen, really nice guy. So he's been founded in 1978, Coin Heritage. And I went there this week and I had to look around and I'll show it to you guys now. I don't mind showing you what I got there. So he had Portuguese junk silver. You can see here that, and I'll tell you what it is. It's 50 centavos, and it's from the early 1900s, and it's 835 silver. He told me I think it's about a third of an ounce of silver. So he said he's got loads of these, and I think it's a good way to buy silver. It's not totally, it's not like very fine, so you almost get the spot. So I got six of these, and he had some really nice pre 1918 sterling florins, and I got six of them. And yeah, I really like buying those, even though I also have the bullion coins, especially Britannia's, because they're capital gains tax free. But he actually had not nine of these 1 ounce Krugerrand bullion coins. It's not what he focuses on. And I asked him, well, how much do you want for them? And he said 44 pounds. And I knew that the dealers online are asking like for 52 or 55. So I thought, wow, this is a good price. So I said, I'll take all nine. And then he said, someone is not going to be very happy because you're going to take all of them. So I said to him, that's fine. I'll just take six. I left the other three there for someone else who might want the 1 ounce silver Krugerrands, and they're really nice coins as well. So sometimes you can get a good deal, because you look at all the bullion dealers online. If they have these coins, they're over 50, and I got it for 44. So there you go. Shop around. Kadir Kankuturan. Hello, Mario. When do you think that US would announce CBDC digital currency? Do you think BRICS have an alternative plan on the table? What will be their impact on gold and silver? I'm not sure the US. I think the Trump administration is against CBDC. I think they're central bank digital currency, and I don't think the Fed's going to be involved. I think in the US they're going to try to bring it through the crypto side of things through stable coins. As for BRICS, I'm not too sure they're concerned about CBDCs. They're concerned more about their how can I say, trading a payment system for their trading mechanism amongst themselves. That's not, has nothing to do, let's say, with the dollar. And I think gold is I mean, I did an interview and I published it yesterday with Peter Carlin, and he thinks gold is basically the reserve currency for the BRICS, or the reserve asset. So gold is going to continue to do well. Whether the US will do the same, I don't know. Even though there's a lot of speculation, they might revalue gold. They might have to go down the way of yeah, gold, because once the BRICS adopt gold as their major reserve asset, there will be no fiat currency, the dollar, fiat dollar included, that will be able to compete because gold is money. What we've had since 1971 has been an aberration for the last 5,000 years. Miss SJ, what do you think about pre-1933 gold coins from US versus bullion due to more protection from confiscation? Yeah, I'm not sure if they would be protected from confiscation. Because don't forget, the confiscation in 1933 was for pre-1933 coins. The only coins that weren't subject to confiscation were numismatic coins. So yes, there are numismatic coins pre-33, but there are also some that don't have numismatic value. But I wouldn't be I'm not that concerned about confiscation in the US, especially seeing that a lot of states are making gold legal tender again. Case in point, Florida. So I don't think the way forward is going to be confiscation, but they're still really great coins. And I think the last time I spoke to Andy Scheckman, my from Miles Franklin, my U.S. affiliate, the premiums were just like bullion for pre-33 coins. I'm not sure where they are right now, but I think they're great coins. I have some pre-33 US coins, gold coins. Yeah, this is the end of Fed mug. We got Thomas Jefferson and Rudy. Yeah, and if you're interested in mugs, the merchandise for the channel, we do have a merchandise store. There's a link below in the description. Alan says apparent silver shortage in London. Do you think that silver will gap up when the US when the Asian markets open later? It's possible. I mean, the shortage is severe on the LBMA. And I'm not surprised. And I'm trying to get David Jensen on because he's been forecasting this because basically the LBMA is like a bucket shop. And a bucket shop, if you know the term or if you don't know the term, is like a place where people used to go in the early 1900s to bet on stock prices. So you were not really buying a stock, you're just betting on the prices. And that's what the LBMA is mostly. We are told that they trade allocated physical, which means there is metal there. But if there was, why do they have a shortage? So I think it's exposing the fraudulent nature of the LBMA. And that's not to say that the same thing isn't happening on COMEX, even though they've got more silver on COMEX. But when yeah, I just think it's exposing this whole paper game that I've been trying to warn against for over 20 years, really. It's not just been since I started this channel, but I've known this for a long time, thanks to research by people like Bill Murphy and what was his name? Bill Murphy's colleague, Mr. Powell. I forgot his first name, from GATA. Dutch Libertarian. I did buy them two tubes of them, 52 euros. Okay, two tubes of what? Dutch Libertarian. I guess I assume some silver coins. Elkas seems much tougher ombre in the dark. Lol. Jacko 999, great channel. The whole of the West is in early collapse. Yeah, I think we're like the Soviet Union and the Warsaw Pact countries in the late 80s, early 90s. It's all like it's the dominoes are all gonna drop. Unfortunately, it's our turn, but it's nothing. I mean, it's something that's happened in the past. NMC, do you think the right will win elections in Brazil? To be honest, I don't follow politics in Brazil, so I don't know. Don't know. Amused reindeer, what's going on with Pakistan? I mean, a few weeks ago, I think was it Pakistan and Saudi Arabia signed a defense deal, like a kind of cooperation, like if someone attacks you, I'll help you, and vice versa. But I also saw that they're trying to offer the US a port, like a seaport in the Indian Ocean. So I'm not sure what's going on. I guess they're trying to stay on the fence, try to hedge their bets. Fuzzy Love, guess what country's citizens buy the most gold? I would say it's probably India and then maybe Germany. Test phase wasn't Livermore a broke when he died, like a bum. I don't think he was a bum, but he made and lost fortunes many times over. But his family was fine. He left them like trust funds, but I don't think he was broke. But he was bipolar, apparently, and yeah, he took his own life. H says, considering the tariffs, BRICS rumors announce, what's your prediction for gold futures when Asia session opens today? It's going to open at 4,132. No, I have no idea. I would, it's really difficult to predict the price, but I think we're going to be higher unless we see some comments by President Trump that might calm things down. And I'm sure he will probably make some comments because he doesn't want to continue to see the stock market crash. I saw that he made a comment on Truth Social, I think today or yesterday, saying that he doesn't want to, yeah, he wants to work with China. And he said, I want to help China because if they do this, they're going to go into a depression, which I think is a bit, I don't think the Chinese will buy that. I think they're getting a bit sick and tired of it, President Trump's acts and changes. So yeah, if I think gold and silver are gonna open higher and the stock market will open lower, but nothing's ever guaranteed. That's what I've learned. But long term, I think gold and silver are still gonna keep going up. There will be corrections along the way, of course. Bo Diddley, bald guy money was showing 1980 silver high, adjusted to inflation would be 81. Well, I think that number is undervalued because what inflation is he talking about? Is it the CP lie from the Bureau of Lie and Statistics? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a lot higher, inflation adjusted, because they underestimate the inflation or the price rises. I mean, look at shadowstats.com. They will tell you what the real inflation has been since 1980. So I don't think that number means much, that 81. That's what I'm trying to say. William Birkenroad, Blue Lagoon Resources struck real pay dirt and starting production and collecting dollars. You interviewed Blue Lagoon Resources close to 2 years ago. They have gone up to 55 cents. Blue Lagoon, yeah, I might have. I don't remember, but maybe I did. Dazable, do you think precious metals go up or down if there is lasting peace between Israel and Hamas? I don't think it matters one way or the other. I don't think metals go up or down because of the situation between Israel and Hamas. So I think it's irrelevant, to be honest. JM, what are your thoughts of using precious metals as collateral for buying a car? Does Miles Franklin offer that service? I don't know. I'm not sure they do, but I mean, you could go also to a pawnbroker and borrow fiat dollars and leave gold there, but that would be more short term, right? I would just sell, if you really need the car, I would just sell the gold and buy the car. I mean, I was looking, car prices are really cheap in ounces of gold. You just have to look back at 25 years ago when gold was at $250. Look at the average car price, do the ratio, and do it now as well, and you'll see that car prices have collapsed in terms of gold. But if you just bought gold now, then it doesn't make sense. But if you've had gold for a long time, you might want to think about just, yeah, why, make it difficult? Why borrow money off your gold? I just, yeah, I'd rather just, yeah, own the car outright. But yeah, maybe you should ask Miles Franklin. I've got a link, a landing page link below in the description. They are my North American affiliates, Miles Franklin. In the UK, it's Gold Investments. Andrew Brown, I have heard talk of LBMA working hard to address the recent shortage. Do you think that they will? And if so, will the price drop? The LBMA is only an association that runs. They don't really do the trading. It's more the bullion banks. Yeah, I saw their CEO or whatever, this woman, come out and say that they're monitoring things, but what can they do? Short of people wanting to ship silver to the UK, and don't forget, silver, even though the price has gone up, it's still really cheap. It's not like shipping gold on a jet. It costs a lot of money, and it might, let's say there's a $3 arbitrage with COMEX, but it costs $3 per ounce to ship it. It's not worth it. So my hope is that they fail and the LBMA will go the way of the dodo bird because they don't deserve to exist, in my opinion. And this same woman, I think back in April, she said, "Oh, there's no chance that there will ever be a squeeze in silver." Well, we've got it. I forgot her name now, but anyway. Dazable, do you think precious metals going up or down? I saw that already. Mario, Robert says, Mario, please tell us how we are going to survive hyperinflation. Well, I had a Star Path Academy. I haven't spoken to him for a while. He's got a good YouTube channel. He grew up in Romania in the 90s. And one thing he said, they didn't have much gold and silver savings in Romania, but he said the people that had gold and silver, they try to keep it, yeah, keep it and not use it because it's a waste. You buy something one day for 1 ounce of gold, and the next day you only need to pay like a tenth of an ounce. So the last thing you want to do is try not to get rid of as much as you can of your gold and silver. You might need to exchange your silver a little bit for basic necessities. But the other thing he said that's really more important is to have a good relationship, not just with your family members, but with your neighbors and your community as a whole, so that you help each other out. That's the most important thing, I think. And people always find a way. And I think these junk coins, like a florin or a US quarter, or yeah, dimes, they will come in handy. And even though very few people nowadays, if you showed them like a florin, they wouldn't even know what this coin was here in the UK. But I think they will quickly learn about it because necessity makes you really focus. So yeah, and I think there will be a lot of bartering as well. Frank, thank you for your super chat. What happens if China dumps US treasuries and discloses their gold holding next week? Yeah, that will be quite explosive. Treasuries, of course, treasury yields will spike higher, and then the US Treasury, the US government will freeze China's treasuries, the ones that they haven't sold, because don't forget, it's you can't sell like I don't know how much they've got, like 700, 800 billion worth of treasuries all at once. Might be able to do like you know 50 billion in one day, maybe 100 billion, and then the alarm bells would start ringing at the treasury, so they would freeze that, and then yeah, gold would explode if they disclose that they actually have more than 30,000, which is probably what they do. The world would be shocked. Not you guys wouldn't, because we've been talking about this for years, and a lot of good precious metals analysts like Alistair McLeod, Jan Neuenhaus, and Ronan Manley, they've all pointed to the fact that they probably have a lot more than 30,000 tons. Dutch libertarian says people are stupid until they get creative in hard times. Yeah, I'm not. I don't think they're stupid. They're just ignorant of things because we haven't had a hyperinflation in the U.S. Since the revolution, US revolution, when the Continentals collapsed. So, there's no one alive who's witnessed it, and there's no one alive whose grandparents told them about it either. In Germany, it's different. And here in the UK as well, we haven't really had hyperinflation. We've had high inflation in the 70s. Jonathan Ventura, thank you for your super chat. What's your opinion on John Lee, CEO of Clean Tech Vanadium, saying you will have carbon credits in the EU? Well, we already have a carbon futures market. It's a fraud, in my opinion. And I worked as a futures and options broker, and they started pushing these carbon futures back in '05, '07. And the company I work for was kind of involved in that as well. But I haven't, I mean, John Lee is a very common name. I don't know if there's a John Lee that Rafi Farber interviewed a couple of years ago. If it's that one, then yeah, he's got no credibility with me. But I don't really know clean tech vanadium. I think this carbon climate change narrative is gonna go the way of the dodo bird, I hope, because it's just another method of the globalists controlling us, basically by taxing the air. That's what it is, and scaring us into into thinking that the world's gonna end. Alex Branch, have you ever talked with David Hunter? I think you two could have an interesting conversation. No, I haven't, but I've seen some of his interviews online on YouTube. Pater Liano, if we are in a currency and debt debasement convexity, will stocks go up with gold and silver? Not all stocks, but definitely the mining stocks, commodity stocks, industrial stocks, any company that is involved in producing real things, even some tech companies. I think the companies that will suffer will be insurance companies, banks. Yeah, anything financial will suffer. And also holding fiat currency and government debt, you will suffer as well. That's what happens during currency collapse. Warning signs. My grandparents had ration cards in their basement when I helped her clean. She was German and very clean woman, strict. Dutch libertarian, the few friends I have, they act very socialistic that they say I am wrong and I'm not fit in their narrative. Well, that's too bad. Uh, Kadir Kunkurtaran, the gold silver ratio during the Roman Empire was 12 to 1. Uh, in medieval Europe. Do you think that we could see that kind of ratio within? Yeah, definitely. I mean, we went down to 15 to 1 in 1980, so we could very easily see 12 to 1. Elka says 44 minutes, doing well. Walter Palmer, 70% of defined silver is derived from the mining of other metals. No easy fix in restoring the inventory. I agree. I mean, it's like a byproduct. A lot of it is from copper mines. There's very few pure silver plays out there. Yeah. And the same thing goes for rare earth minerals. The US has underground quite a lot of rare earths. And up until 20, 25 years ago, I think the West mined rare earths and processed and produced, but then China started doing and the West stopped. So yeah, President Trump thinks that it can be kick-started again very quickly, but I think it will take years to mine for it, to find some and to start producing. And I think he knows because if he didn't know, he wouldn't be so concerned about the export controls that China just implemented uh, and threatened China with 100% tariffs. So the rare earths card is the ace up Xi Jinping's sleeve, I would say. And unfortunately, I think China's won that move, and the U.S. is going to have to give up something. And I think that could be the controls they put on people like I think Nvidia and others selling chips to China. They'll have to reverse that if he wants the rare earths from China. PSA, thank you for the super chat. The idea of interviewing, I second the idea of interviewing David Hunter. Yeah, I'll see if I can get in touch with him. Stefanos Pantagis, Brazil has rare earths. If US dollar goes down relative to Brazil's currency, they will do well. Yeah, they will. And the real is up 13% this year versus the dollar. So Brazil's already doing well. But the thing is, the United States administration has even uh, pissed off, excuse my French, Brazil. Yeah, they've even intervened in the political process in Brazil in order to try to get what they want trade-wise, and I don't think that's the right way about to go about it, no matter what you think about domestic politics in Brazil. So, yeah, there you go. David King, yeah, rare earths need refining. Yeah, and China does most of it too. Echo Echo, I bought 4,000 pounds of McEwen mining after watching some analysis from Clive and then some of my own research, taking calculated risk. Okay. McEwen, Robert McEwen, yeah, he's a quite successful mining entrepreneur. I don't really have a view on McEwen mining. KT, do you switch the metals you buy depending on the gold silver ratio? No, no, I don't. Uh, I don't. I don't. Yeah, I don't think that's. I just try to buy as much gold and silver as possible, but I probably buy a. Yeah, I don't, yeah, I probably buy silver more regularly because it's cheaper, but I also buy some gold once in a while. Marpuka 007 thinks oil is going to skyrocket. Well, there's always the wild card of Middle East tensions, even though uh, Hamas and Israel have kind of made peace, but you still have the Iranian Israel situation. Even though I saw a headline or a story, I didn't really look into it that deeply, but apparently Iranian officials have communicated with the Americans that they or the Israelis or something that they want to talk. They don't want war. So I'm not sure if oil is going to explode. Who knows? Hio Silver, when do you think is the best time to get out of miners and get coins? I think it depends. You know, if you have a company that does really well, and I had one a few months ago, I got out of it because it went up 4 times, and I bought some other miners that were cheap, and then a couple of months ago as well, one of the companies I had went up 50% in 2 weeks, and I took some profit. So, but I still think the miners generally are going to keep going up. There's still quite a few years to go in the bull market. But yeah, that's the way I would look at it. If you have a particular company that has really outperformed even other companies that have gone up, then maybe take a profit there, uh, leave some of it in your mining portfolio, and maybe take a little bit out and buy some physical gold and silver. That's what I would do. Benny and Andrade or Andrade, it's a Portuguese name, but I'm not sure how you pronounce it in Australia. I am in Australia, want to buy some physical gold and silver. Any recommendations where to buy from? Not really. I'm not really familiar with the bullion dealers down under. I would do a search online, like precious metals dealer, and try to find the most reputable ones. Do you do your homework? Yeah, so that's what I would do. Alan, Clive said he wasn't buying Seabridge Gold because AI told him not to. It's up 25%. So much for AI. Yeah, I mean, AI is good for a few things, but I would never ask AI to be honest, whether I should buy or sell a stock. I would ask them about the company, what it's doing, but I wouldn't ask their opinion, AI's opinion on whether I should buy or sell it. Ukbay says, Mario, your thoughts on the non-monetary metals, platinum and palladium? Yeah, I think they will do well because it's the kind of environment we're in. The world is breaking apart. There's no globalization anymore. like commodities are becoming precious, really all commodities. But yeah, they're non-monetary metals. That's why I don't follow them as closely, though. I just try to focus on gold and silver. Pakistan Zindagud, I superimposed all the charts, including stocks and cryptos and gold, silver, and the banner cycle is quite accurate. Market crashing coming 2026, gold and silver to take off exponentially. Well, I've never heard of the Benner circle. Pakistan's in the good. Do you think there will be a crash this coming week, though? You're welcome, Andrew Brown. Jason Wheelock just joined. Do you have an opinion on how many ounces of gold and silver one should have physically? Well, as much as possible. That's the answer, I guess. But that depends on your financial, yeah, how wealthy or how much savings you've got. I mean, a billionaire should have loads, I think. And yeah, just as much as possible, in my opinion. It's like, is that Jason? Yeah, Jason. I think the question is how much should you save, right? And I don't know your circumstances, so I think that's how you should think about it as savings. So Pakistan Zindagud says real estate and stock market crash incoming. So keep stacking, my friends. 2026 to 2032 depression, and then buy real estate stocks will pump to 2035. That's interesting. Thanks for that, Pakistan Zindagud. It's not financial advice, right? It's just your opinion. Roni Dorsey, thank you for your super chat. Any thoughts on goldbacks as solution to dollars in US? We have seen, we have been using them here in 3 states to get folks to recognize precious metals. Would Gresham's law apply to this? Yeah, right now it's probably still applying because people are not going to pay with gold backs if they can still pay with a depreciating fiat dollar. But if we do get a hyperinflation and a currency collapse, then you might start using it because Gresham's law will not apply because there won't be any currency except gold, silver, and gold backs. And I've got some, and it was sent from one of the viewers, which I appreciate. They're nice, gold backs. So right now, I guess it's easy to calculate the fiat value. This is one gold back, which is one thousandth of an ounce. So that's $4, $4 fiat. I guess the gold goes to 5,000 will be $5, and so on. Yeah. So right now, I think Gresham's law is still applying, even though you might want to. Someone might accept one gold back for something that's worth $5. Who knows? 57 minutes. Elkis says getting younger every day. Thank you. Warning signs, crash JP Morgan buy silver. Max Kaiser used to say, I I bought a stamp and stamped off all our fiat paper money and got the information out. I remember when Max Kaiser used to say that, and I used to watch him on RT, Max and Stacy show, Max Kaiser show. And I even met him once. I went to precious metals mining conference that the FT of all people organized. Was a gold conference in London in 2009. And one of my colleagues at work, he got tickets for it and he invited me. He was a gold bug. And I met Max Kaiser there and Stacy. I didn't get good vibes from meeting him. He's the kind of guy when you talk to him, he doesn't look into your eyes. He's like somewhere else. So I didn't get a very good feeling from him, but he gave up on gold and silver years ago and went into Bitcoin. So I'm not sure what he's pushing these days, if he's still pushing Bitcoin. Sven, thank you for your super chat. Like you, you should have beat your cold or close. Good to hear. Thanks for your calm consistency. Yeah, no, my cold is a lot better. I played golf today and I was fine. So, yeah, thank you. Monaco 64, Dutch Libertaire says it's the 150-year-old Benner cycle. Okay, I'm actually gonna ask the gnome of Zurich about that because he's into very long-term cycles. Benner cycle. He might know something about that. Warning sign says Max Kaiser was a magician, black magic, Wall Street bum. Uh, there's an old news clip of him being interviewed right after the '87 crash on Wall Street, and he was very young back then. That's how I think he became famous. Credits born. So is MMT like holy water to gold bugs? Not sure what you're trying to say that there. I mean, MMT is what we've had since '08, which is money printing. So whether it's holy water, I don't know. I don't think so. It's actually really bad stuff. It's poisonous. It's poisonous to everyone. Yes, it helps us because we know how to protect against poison with gold and silver. So it's more like poison, I would say, credits born. PSA, thank you for your super chat. Do you ever go to the Deutsche Goldmesse? No, I've never been to coin. So I guess it's the coin like exposition in Germany. No, I've never been, but I know Mr. Morris, Peter Morris, who runs the Peter Morris Coins in Bromley, and I've done a video of his shop here. He goes there every year. He speaks German as well, Peter Morris. Maybe one day I will go to the Deutsche Goldmesse. I speak a little bit of German. Fuzzy Love, would the Gnome of Zuri do an interview? No, yeah, I don't think he's a bit camera shy, so but he might change his mind. He's probably watching this, who knows? He watches the channel. Greg thinks MMT is fertilizer for gold bugs. Okay. Oh yeah, there's Rudy. The roots. Rudy, should we buy silver? Rudy, do you want to buy silver? Do you want to buy silver? Rudy, is silver going to 100? Yeah? Is silver going to 100? He gets really excited. There you go. Should we buy silver, Rudy? Yeah? Anyway, uh, Lisa Newham, do you think everyone who works in finance is aware of the manipulation of the metals? No, I don't even think they're aware of the significance of precious metals, let alone the manipulation. So, no. El Cahoya, have you ever been to a Federal Reserve building? No, I haven't. I haven't. Uh, I've been to the Bank of England Museum, but I haven't been to a Federal Reserve building. Um, Over here says Mario, no more talk about gold revaluation. Well, I think it's still in the cards. Uh, Gerald Gotch, as you mentioned Avino mining a while back, and I bought it at 129, and now it's above five. Yeah, yeah, that one's done well. Justin Taylor, do you think you could persuade Peter to print a physical copy of Pocket Book of Gold? Well, I asked him in our first interview, and he didn't seem to think he was going to do that. But who knows? You know, it depends if he gets a lot of demand for the PDF, he might think about it. Let's go down, get down, boy. Mr. B, bring out the bulldog. Yeah, Rudy's not much of a bulldog, is he? Ronnie Dorsey says the Goldback is actually 815. So there's a big premium on it. Yeah, 50. Yeah, it's like 100% premium. That's interesting. Matt Bittner, do you still own any oil shares? No, I don't own oil shares. No. I think at some point I had some Petrobras ADRs. I'm not sure if they're still paying a high dividend. That could be worth looking into because the Brazilian real as well is fairly strong. Helsinki, if USA revalues gold, this will make all the other countries super rich. Yeah, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. If they revalue it really high, yeah, like you said, it will make all the other countries rich. But I think all the other countries will have problems as well because their currencies would become worth a lot less. So would the dollar. So yeah, that's why they're probably holding off. And if they do revalue it, it won't be to a very high level, I don't think, because right now it's at $42.22. But if they revalue it, let's say to $2,000, that will be bullish as well. And it means that the 2000 level will probably never be broken through on the downside ever again. PSA says Alex Kreiner is going to be at Deutsche Goldmesse. Yeah, I interviewed him last week, and yeah, we were getting uh, the viewers like Alex Kreiner. We've got quite a few views for that interview, and I like him too. Matt Bittner is saying that Petrobras ADR or PBR is still paying a high dividend. Bertie Bear says he can't understand why so many miners went down last week. Well, they've had a really good run, so things don't go up or they don't go down either in a straight line. So probably profit taking and stuff like that. Not everyone holds for the long term. Thank you, Andrew. Andrew says, remember to give Mario a like and subscribe. Yeah. Ronnie Dorsey says it's pretty bad here in the US. We have service members at food banks. When will people wake up to the dollar Ponzi? I mean, it's here in the UK as well. I was speaking with a guy that I play golf with today, and he said that he knows a lot of people who have jobs and pretty relatively well off, but they're struggling as well. But yeah, here in the UK as well, you see people with jobs going to food banks. So yeah, th this idea that the economy is doing great is just pure political propaganda, in my opinion. Uh, Ed Steer, yeah, I have interviewed him. Maybe I should have him on again. I like him, Ed Steer. Silver says price of organic chickens going up and up. Yeah, I think anything organic, anything that's healthy to eat will keep going up, unfortunately. Gold to 8,000, Leon de Vivar. Yeah, eventually it will get there. I mean, it's only a doubling from four right now. You know, 2 to 4,000. That was a double. So the higher we go, the more parabolic it will get. Bertie Bear says, I know full-time workers who live in a caravan as rent's too high. Yeah, it's sad. And it's all to do with the currency system because if we had sound money and people got paid in sound money and they did something, a job or whatever that is productive and is worth getting paid for, you should be able to live relatively comfortably. Uh, and unfortunately, that's not the case. And I think it's really sad. It's almost like slavery. That's what fiat currency enslaves most of us. And that's why, and even having gold and silver doesn't guarantee anything. It just helps you. It's really tough. Where is Rudy? I think. Come on, Rudy. Let's say goodbye now. Come on, boy. Say. All right. So it's time to say goodbye to you guys. We've been on, I think, for almost an hour and 20 minutes now. And Rudy, he said, Leon de Vivar thinks you're going to the moon. So anyway, thank you, everyone, for being here, for participating, for asking the questions, and I wish you all a great rest of the weekend and a great next week. And let's keep an eye on what the markets do in well, a couple of hours. So take care, everyone.